right, at this time, please stand for the playing of Reveille by Isaac Levins and presentation of the colors by Joseph Barra, Ira Ava, and Henry Julian. Please do so respectfully.
Please place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome to everyone to today's ceremony, and thank you for all of our guests for attending. I'm honored to be here with you today on such an important occasion. We're here to honor the sacrifices and to remember the service of those service members that have had the courage to defend honor, duty, and country. Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please remain standing for the playing of Taps by Matthew Hansen and a moment of silence to recognize our fallen veterans. Please be seated. Every veteran has made their contribution to this country and earned its gratitude. Veterans Day is a celebration of the mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters all over the country and in all of our lives who served or are serving. Whether drafted or enlisted, commissioned or non-commissioned, each took an oath, lived by a code, and stood ready to defend our nation. In so many ways, our veterans have shaped the lives we live today as well as the world in which we live. Today is our day of honoring them by remembering them and their accomplishments and sacrifices. We honor our veterans by celebrating their day not just with reverence, but with heartfelt joy and appreciation for their lives and the blessings that they bring us, and how the country feels on this, the day we set aside for them, this National Veterans Day. At this time, I'd like to introduce some guests, and I know that we have a few people that might have come in that I didn't get on this list, and we'll kind of get a group recognition of them in just a minute. But just the ones that we know we have here is Angie Felice. David Hunter and wife Kelly. Gerald Wincheck and wife Ellen. Kay Furlong. Kim Crawford. Ben Plenty Jr. Brandon Johnson and wife Terry. Deanna McKenna. Mercer Fisher and wife June. James Pons. Nathan Vernon. Ray Krista King. Sean Gregory. Marissa Smith and Douglas Jeremy. Robert Julian, Carlos Quiones, Gary D, Jean Daly and wife Ishii, Chris Allen and wife Linda, Joe Haley, Ed Lombard. We also have several veterans with our staff and spouses, and we'd like to recognize them at this time. Ms. Carolyn Comer. Ms. Molly Mendenhall, husband Greg. Chad Erickson. Jennifer Durkoop and her husband. Deanna McArthur. Victoria Hunt. Barbara Waggy. Kathy Landon, President Greg. Sally Heights' husband. Kim Tyser's husband, Dale. Miss Rose's daughter, Victoria. And Mr. Thompson's wife, Shane. I know that there may be others here that have come in that we didn't have a list, so at this time, if I have not called your name and you're a veteran, please stand so you can be recognized. And students, if you have a family member, either current or former military, please stand. Thank you. And you can see what an impact veterans have on us every day with those folks that stood up. At this time, I would like to turn this over to Ms. Comer, who will introduce our keynote speaker.
Good morning again. Before I begin, before I introduce our guest speaker, I'd like to first thank Lulu Batulo, a broadcasting student, for interviewing and writing this guest speaker introduction for us. Please give her a round of applause. It's my pleasure to welcome our guest speaker, Ms. Ray Presley King, or PK, as she is so fondly known as. Her list of accomplishments and service are numerous and quite impressive. Here are just a few of them. Captain Ray Presley King served in the Army for 10 years, and 8 of those as an Army aviation officer with the 8th Infantry Division in Germany and at the 110th Aviation Brigade at Fort Rucker, Alabama. While there, she flew helicopters back and forth in the skies above Mainz and Frankfurt. She had the opportunity to assist the Air Force with numerous mission practices. These were rare opportunities, so she had a lot of fun playing cat and mouse with the Air Force while flying those helicopters. One of the highlights of her Army career came when she realized that the same helicopters she trained on at Fort Rucker were around when her father served in Vietnam in the 1960s. Once she retired, she decided it was time for a new chapter in her life and continued this journey by becoming an educator, just like her mother. She taught science at a private school in Kuwait, at Flat Rock Middle School, and also right here at Booth. After a few years at Booth, she was promoted to Assistant Principal Instructional Lead. She was Miss Siebel. She was also later promoted to the first principal of Bennett's Mill Middle School. For the past 6 years, she has served as the Fayette County Director of Secondary Education. Please join me and welcome home our very own Ms. Ray Presley King.
Thank you, Ms. Comer, and I also want to thank you for your service to this nation. It is so good to be back at Booth Middle School. I have so many fond memories here in this room and in this building. And I want to share one because I don't know why you gave me a hot mic, because I'm a veteran, I love to tell stories. But one of my favorite stories is back there in that room where the weight room was. One day I got an emergency call from the coaches and they told me to hurry up, come down, there's something going on. I came down here, and as I walked into the room, a squirrel went zooming across the floor. And Coach Ashmore, where are you? Had, yes, that guy. He basically, first of all, he was videotaping me. And he had a squirrel on a string, and he pulled it across. And I believe he might have shared that with some people, so thank you so much, Coach Ashmore. It's fond memories. It is quite an honor to share this day with all of these veterans and with all of these warriors. But I want to take a moment to recognize a very special veteran in the audience, and his name is Mercer Fisher, and he's a World War II veteran. His daughter, Miss Kim Fisher. She is so proud of him, and she told me a little story this morning. She told me that he was one of the first paratroopers in World War II. Back when paratroopers had to be a certain age, but he was 18, and I believe he got paid a little extra for being 18 and being a paratrooper. So, Mr. Fisher, thank you so much for your service. Take a moment, and I can't call names because I'm going to miss somebody, but I want to thank all of the teachers and staff members who put this event together. I can't begin to tell you how important it is to veterans to be recognized, because there was a day when veterans weren't recognized like they are today. So thank you so much to all of the teachers who put this together. Thank you to the fine arts directors And thank you to the students who spent time practicing and preparing for today. Thank you so much. A few weeks ago, I was in Ms. Colleen Johnson's broadcast class. I was there and I've answered a few questions, and thank you for the introduction, Lulu. While there, one of the students asked me, "Why were you chosen to be the Veterans Day speaker?" I have to tell you, it caught me off guard because I was like, oh boy. So my answer to that student was that it was because I served on active duty probably, and because I flew helicopters. And after I left, I had time to reflect, and I thought, well, maybe it's because I worked here, and maybe it's because I like to tell stories. Who knows? But I'm here today, and I thank you, Ms. Colleen Johnson's class, because you all really made me think, and you helped me to focus on my topic for today, which is about veterans and their stories. Now, there's some things that you might not know about veterans, and I want to share those things with you right now. First of all, we speak English, but we speak it in a different way. One thing, we like to use words like negative for no, affirmative for yes, roger that for I understand. Civvies are what? Are the clothes that we wear when we're not in uniform. A police call means that we're cleaning up. It's time to clean up, so we have a police call, or we police something. We pop smoke when we want to move we want to get out of an area in a quick manner. So you pop smoke, which is basically a smoke grenade. You pop smoke, camouflage yourself, and move on. And when I tell you to check your 6, I'm basically telling you to look behind you, okay, for your 6 o'clock. We also use a different alphabet. Instead of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, we use another alphabet. Alpha, Bravo, join in with me, veterans, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, and Golf. And we liked, now I'm going to go way back, so some of you newer people, you may not know this, but we eat chow from a mess hall, and we drink water out of a water buffalo. Do you remember that? Yes, okay. And thank you, it did taste like chlorine. We walk in formation, we run in formation, and we sing songs called jodies that keep us in formation. They're not all fit for middle school ears, so I won't sing a jodie to you, but they are online if you want to listen to them. There are a few things that you should know about veterans. Number one, we believe that you are only as strong as your weakest link. Basically, the weakest member of your team is your team. So if somebody runs slow, everybody runs slow. If somebody can't keep up in any way, whether it's on a test or during a mission, that is what everyone does. We also are quick to take responsibility for our actions. We take responsibility, accountability, it doesn't matter. Community, it's all about making sure that everyone is together and being responsible whether you did it or not. We also enjoy each other's company. And I saw that this morning when we were having breakfast. It was so nice to just sit around and talk about where we served, the missions we were on, and who was there with us. And usually we find out that we have a connection in some way. Another thing that you should know about veterans is we are incredibly loyal to the United States of America. These songs, sometimes if you're around a veteran, sometimes we hear songs and they just choke us up because it just means so much more to us than just the song. So I want to thank you again to our directors for preparing such wonderful music for us today. And the last thing I want to tell you is that we love to tell war stories. And not all of our war stories are about war. They're really just our stories about things that we remember from serving. And so, Ms. Colleen Johnson's class, I want to tell you my story at this point. First of all, I think of myself as a soldier and a teacher. I served on active duty and overseas for 10 years, and I've been an educator for 25 years, and 22 of those years have been here in Fayette County. I went to Howard University on an ROTC scholarship, and attended the Army Aviation School at Fort Rucker, Alabama. For those of you who don't know where Fort Rucker is, that's Lower Alabama, LA. Love it there. In order to qualify to fly, potential candidates had to take an aptitude test. Now, this is way back, called the BAS test, actually, to fly. And I took that test, and I failed. I took it in my senior year. I wanted to be an aviator more than anything. I love to fly airplanes. I love to watch airplanes. I love everything about airplanes. I took the test and I failed. And then I told my professor of military science that I had failed the test. And he asked me, "Cadet, did you take the test as yourself?" And I said, "Yes, of course I took the test as myself." And he said, "Well, that was your first mistake. You need to take the test as a high-speed, low-drag pilot like Tom Cruise in Top Gun." So, because I got one more chance, I was able to go back. I took the test one more time. I walked in there as a maverick, passed the test, and made it into aviation. Now, as soon as I finished my officer basic course, I found myself in a helicopter with an instructor who was twice my age and twice my size. He was a Vietnam veteran. We spent 20 hours, a total of 20 hours together in a helicopter called a TH-55. It looks like a little mosquito, has a little tiny tail behind it. It was orange. And it had a little buzz like a mosquito. It's about the size inside of a Mini Cooper, a tiny Mini Cooper. After a few weeks of flying, my instructor took me to an airfield called Shellfield, for those of you who've been to Fort Rucker, and he said, "Okay, Lieutenant, today you solo." Now, mind you, I was 22 years old. I was just a little bit afraid of this big, awesome mosquito bird thing. And he got out of the plane and said, out of the helicopter, he said, "Now, when you take off, remember, I'm not in here. So you have to compensate for my weight." And so I did. I got out there, I went out there, I took it to a hover, and I flew around the airfield 2 times, all by myself, and I was done, just like that. And let me tell you, 20 hours is not a lot of time before you have to solo, but I did it, and it was wonderful. When I left Rucker, I proudly served with the 8th Infantry Division in Mainz and Bad Kreuznach, Germany. While I was there, which is actually 30 years ago, I saw the Berlin Wall come down. I saw the unification of East and West Germany. And a few years later, I saw the beginning of the Gulf War. To this day, I am fascinated with helicopters. I love to listen to veteran stories. And I so look forward to what happens in the United States Army and the military in the future. I do have a challenge for you, and this is for students and teachers. Today, I would like to challenge you over the next month to take a moment to have a conversation with a veteran. Don't just thank them for their service. Actually sit down and have a conversation with them. Ask them about their service. Ask them about what they're most proud of, and just listen. 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with my father, Colonel Vernon Presley, in the last year of his life. More than 80% of our conversations were about his time in Vietnam, in England, in Germany, and he shared with me all of those things that he was proud of. My only regret is that I took too long. I thought my dad never wanted to talk about Vietnam. Little did I know that he wanted to talk about Vietnam, he just didn't think I was ready. So it's a wonderful opportunity, and to think, when I saw all of you stand up, I thought, oh my goodness, look at all of these relatives and children and nieces and nephews of veterans. And it would really warm my heart to think that you actually took time to talk to a veteran, not just thank them for their service. Now, unfortunately, I don't have time to take questions from the audience, but I do have time to answer 2 questions that I always get, and they always make me laugh just a little bit. The first one is, do you eject from a helicopter? I want you to think about that for a minute. I always get that question. And from your laughs, I can see this is a pretty smart, informed audience. And the answer is no. You do not eject from a helicopter. Actually, you look for a safe landing zone and you head for it, and that is about it, and you just pray. But no, you do not eject from the helicopter. The other question that I always get is, did you ever shoot anyone? No. Actually, I do need to tell you a story behind this, because the one thing, when I served in the military, I was, as you can see, female, and I could not fly in combat. What I could do was I could go into combat, I could be I could recon, but I could not actually fly in combat. I did have a weapon, but it was for my personal safety, not to shoot other people. But thank you for asking and for having so much faith in me. So veterans, it does not matter which branch of the service you serve in. We are all brothers and sisters in arms, and I thank you for your service and for defending my freedom as an American. Thank you.
Okay, this time our band will play an honor service medley. We'd like to ask our veterans if they will stand when their branch of the military song is played. United States Marine. United States Army. United States Coast Guard. United States Air Force. time, we'd like to introduce, two guest readers. We have Maddox Dykeman, who will read his Patriots Pen essay, and Ariana Winsek, who will read her Patriots poem.
First, I would like to take a moment to say that this is a privilege to honor our veterans here today. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave? How many times have we sung these lyrics and thought about what it means to be free? There are so many amazing things about our country, it's hard to pick out a few to focus on. Two of the things that I believe make America great are the choices we are allowed to make and the hope we always have because we are citizens of the United States of America. The ability to choose not only the little things, but also the big things in your life helps give us the foundation that we build our futures on. For example, you can kneel for the national anthem, or you can stand for the national anthem. Either way, you can show what you believe in. You can worship one God, no God, or many gods. No matter what you choose, you can believe what you want to believe. You can be a CEO of a big-time company, or you can be a stay-at-home mom. Either way, you choose how you want to contribute to the world. All of those choices work together to build our foundation. Hope is a very powerful thing that makes America great. Our country's past gives us hope for the future because of what we have been through as a nation. Osama bin Laden thought he would destroy us in 9/11, but as you can clearly see, he did not destroy us. We rose back up and are stronger than ever. So many opportunities exist that give us hope. During times of hardship, there are always opportunities for us, like joining the military and giving back to our country. If you have a bad day, you know you can always count on the people that we have in our country who will build you back up. It is not that hard to find a helping hand right in your city. Two things that make America great are the choices we are allowed to make and the hope we always have because we are citizens of the United States of America. These are the things that truly make America great.
Take a moment to thank a veteran. When you see someone in uniform, someone who serves us all, doing military duty, answering our country's call, take a moment to thank them for protecting what you hold dear. Tell them you're proud of them, make it very clear. Just tap them on the shoulder, give them a smile and say, thanks for what you're doing to keep us safe in the USA. By Joanna Fuchs.
As we close this morning, we'd like everybody to remember that we came together to honor an elite group of people. Fewer than 10% of our population in the country can claim the title of veteran. These honorable people have dedicated themselves to helping build a nation that is stronger, freer, and a little more perfect for the rest of us. I'd like to ask that as you leave today and you go about the rest of your day, to keep the veterans in your minds, as well as their families and friends, because it's their willingness to make the immense collective sacrifice that will help keep our country safe and free. Thank you once again to all of our veterans. Students, please remain seated. Everyone remain seated. We retire the colors and then stay seated until you get instructions